gentlemen, welcome to another very exciting episode of the Wrassingh Show. And joining us today is a special person. He is probably the reason why we are having such a hot summer this year. The man behind the Summer of J, as PWI Magazine so rightfully calls him, the one to watch. Please welcome from PCW Ultra, the PCW Ultra Light Champion, J. Vidal. Jay, such a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it is such a pleasure to be on here and to represent PCW Ultra as the PCW Ultra Light Champion.
That's right. Love it. How beautiful is that title, by the way? What a beautiful championship.
Listen, it is a very beautiful belt. It stays right here in my room. It is the best decoration that everybody sees when they come in here. I show it off to everybody.
That's right. That title and that too around Jay Vidal's waist, it doesn't get any better. It does not.
It belongs together. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
It just it meshes well. J Vidal Ultralight Championship. I mean, what else could you ask for?
There has never been a better combination. Never ever has there been a better partnership. I love it. I love it. I'm so thrilled to have you. I mean, only 24 years of age, 6 years in the industry, and you have achieved so much already. What a ride it's been for you, and you're just getting started, Jay. Incredible.
Oh yes, it's had a lot of ups and downs, but you know what? I wouldn't change any part of it for the world because I feel like without the lowest of lows in this industry, you don't get to feel the highest of highs, and that's what we do it for. We do it for those biggest highs in this business.
That's right, absolutely, and that's the mindset that you have to keep going. To be successful in this industry. Very hardworking you are. You're just so passionate, so determined to reach the top. It's beautiful, and I know you grew up in the ruthless aggression era. It was a whole different time on wrestling back then. So back then, when you were watching all this wrestling on television, did you ever imagine yourself doing what you saw on TV?
Yes, absolutely. So, I always talk about it too. My earliest memory is watching Big Show double chokeslam Taka Michinoku and Funaki.
Right.
And I don't know why, but that always just stuck in the back of my head. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is really cool. I used to see guys then I saw guys like Jeff Hardy or guys like Shawn Michaels. And for whatever reason, I could just relate to them. And, I saw guys like that and I said, I want to be that guy. I want to be the Shawn Michaels of, you know what I mean, LGBTQ wrestling, or just be, my own version of that.
Is beautiful. Yes, you are. That's what I feel about you. Of course, when I look at you wrestling, I see glimpses of some of the greatest that we've ever seen in the squared circle. But then I see you and I see this originality of Jay Vidal, which is why, I just see the future right here on this very frame of ours. I see the future in you. It's incredible.
Thank you so much. That really means the world to me. I mean, I definitely believe I was trained by Gangrel and he would always tell me what you are is bits and pieces of what you pick out of the best. You know what I mean? The people that you study. You pick something out and you turn it just a little
Yeah.
bit, just 5%, and now it's yours. Now you're original.
That's right. That's it. That's it. I love it. Now, going back to your early childhood days, you're watching wrestling, you're growing up as a fan, and, of course, you've studied tapes, Shawn Michaels and whatnot. So, what was your favorite era of wrestling? We've seen different eras, of course, the Ruthless, the Attitude, and the current era. Which one is your absolute favorite?
Oh man, that's really hard to choose. If I had to choose one, I would definitely say I really enjoyed the Ruthless Aggression era. The Ruthless Aggression era for me was just one of the most top tier era because you had, the upcoming stars. It wasn't about, you had guys like Stone Cold who unfortunately and The Rock who were leaving the industry, but they were right there at the very beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
But then you had guys like Randy Orton come in or, Batista, and, Jeff Hardy started getting some shine on him. And it was the era where, in my opinion, I'm a huge fan of Shawn Michaels, as you know. In my opinion, that was the era where Shawn Michaels was just out there to put on the best matches possible.
That's right. I love it. I love it. And the one thing that I've come to know about you is that not only are you just so talented and just perfectly made for wrestling for the square circle, but wrestling is also your happy place. I've heard that age 18, you woke up one morning and you realize that you need wrestling to be happy. That's your happy place. How did that come about? How long had you been thinking about wrestling and pursuing it as a career?
That's funny. I think when I was like 13 or 14, I sat my parents down. It's funny, like you talk about it like your parents sit you down, but I
That's
sat my
right.
parents down, like a whole family meeting, and I said, "Listen, when I turn 18, I'm going to move somewhere where there's a wrestling school, and I'm gonna become a professional wrestler." But unfortunately, this is still kind of the early, I like to say the early era of like, Google, where if you
Yep.
Googled wrestling schools, the only thing that would come up would be like Texas Wrestling Academy or like, Landstorm Wrestling Academy in Canada. So it was like those were the only two or three that would come up. Um, so I always thought that I had to move out there, but then when I was 18, it's no secret I was actually a go-go dancer at the time. And for an 18-year-old, I was making really good money, but like I was depressed.
Yeah.
And that's for one, that's when I learned that money could never buy you happiness.
Mhm.
And two, that's when I had like this click in my brain and I said, I got to start being happy. I got to do it for myself. What will make me happy? Professional wrestling. It's what I've always wanted to do.
Wow.
So I looked up a wrestling school and Coastal Championship Wrestling came up on Google, and I called right away. I had words with the owner, and within 5-10 minutes, he already told me, "Listen, this is how much." It's the old school owner. He's like, "Listen, you got this much money? All right, come
Yeah.
on over."
Yeah.
And I was there the following. It was, I think I called, maybe I called there like on a Friday or Saturday, and I was there on a Monday.
Wow. Wow. So driven. You just knew that this was it, that you had to do it. And you said a very, very important thing right there, that money just cannot buy you happiness. It just cannot. And it's very true. I totally agree with that. And you also mentioned that age 13, you sat down with your parents and you had this talk. So can you just walk it through that? For some people, they would say it's like coming out of the closet when you tell your parents that, you know what, I want to be a pro wrestler, because that's like a nightmare for a lot of parents out there. Wrestler? Are you sure? How was that moment for you?
Oh man, I feel like it might have been easier to come out as gay than it was to come out as a wrestler. My mom was in full support of it. She's always been one of my top supporters. She's been through a lot of hardships in her life. She's battled addiction and stuff. Doing good now, thank God. But she's always been one of my biggest supporters. My dad always told me, I just want you to graduate and to have a backup plan if anything were to happen. That's
Beautiful,
it.
beautiful.
And then he said, besides that, I just want you to live your life and be happy.
Wow. It's incredible. I mean, having such supportive parents, it's a blessing. Love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. My grandma actually took it probably the hardest. My grandma was the one who would tell me, no, how long are you gonna do this for? Or my first year in wrestling, you're only 1 year in, and she's like, "Are you signed yet?" I'm like, "No, grandma, I'm not signed yet." She's like, "Oh, when are you gonna give this up?" I'm like, "Grandma, wait some time." But it's funny because now I talked to her. I just talked to her not too long ago on the phone, and when I talked to her, I remember bringing up a job that I have, and the first thing she asked me was, "It doesn't interfere with your wrestling, right?" So it's good to
Wow.
know that now she supports it a lot.
Absolutely, and that's because we see not just your family but the world, and the wrestling fans see your determination, see your passion. I mean, just watching you make your way out to the ring and the smile on your face, it's beautiful, and it shows how much you love this. And on top of that, your success is visible right there. You've got the most beautiful title I've ever seen in the industry. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
yes, it's screaming success. So you are doing great, and knock on the wood, you're only gonna get better and better. Love it. Well, love it.
It, exactly, exactly. Only up from here. We only go up.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about Gangrel. I mean, of course, you've been trained by the one and only. So how is it like scouting your trainer, Gangrel? I mean, how did you find him? How did you convince him to train you? How was all of that?
So actually, Gangrel was there when I walked into CCW,
Oh, he was there.
Coastal
Okay.
Championship Wrestling. Yeah, he would train there twice a week because he was basically just moving back from California to South Florida. Uh, and he was in that process when I met him. And it's funny because I always tell the story. I was pulling up in my car, and as I'm pulling up, I just see the promoter for the Coastal Championship Wrestling and Gangrel just walk right in front of my car. And I just stopped, and I'm in awe because I grew up watching this guy. Like, I know exactly who he is. Like, I studied, like, he's always been one of my personal favorites. Like, the Impaler DT was one of the best finishers ever for me. So I see this guy walk in front of my car, this big, this big white vampire. And uh, I mouth off, holy shit, right? And then he looks directly at me and he says, "What the f are you looking at?" And then keeps walking. And I waited in my car for like 5 or 10 minutes after that because I was like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna get my butt kicked as soon as I go in there." But but no, it was really cool because he was one of the trainers there. He took a liking to me. I think he saw my drive and determination. For professional wrestling. So he ended up taking me under his wing. Like, it just took maybe 2 or 3 classes, and it all started with a nickname. He called me Twilight because he said I look like Jacob from Twilight.
No way. Okay. Wow. And did you agree with that statement?
You know what? I was just happy to have a nickname because I knew that if he gave me a nickname, he probably liked me.
That's right. That's right. Now it's definitely, definitely, and I've heard that Gangrel is not the easiest of the coaches. I mean, he can really tough you. I mean, he can really test you and toughen you up before you make it to the real world, to the real industry. So, how was that for you? Did you ever feel under the tough leadership or training of Gangrel that what, maybe wrestling isn't for me? Maybe this is just too hard. Maybe Gangrel is not the right coach. Did you ever have those thoughts?
I never had that thought of maybe he's not the right coach. I have gone home a lot of times just
Hmm.
feeling down, just feeling like, man, I couldn't get it. Man, like, because he's hard on you, but he's not hard on you for the sake of being hard on you.
Right.
He's hard on you because he has that mentality, which is, I think it's an old school mentality, but it is the right mentality to
It
have
is.
because his mentality is that if he could break you down at his school, nothing in this business will ever be able to break you down.
Absolutely.
So I think that a lot of people, unfortunately, they lack that. They get told advice or criticism, and they can't take it because in the school where they were at, they were probably like patted on the back, like it's okay, you're doing good, you're doing good. When really, maybe their basics aren't up to par, or you know what I mean. Maybe they need to fix up stuff. But Gangrel was always really, really hard on me. But I always remembered what he would tell us, which was when I stop, he's like, don't worry about when I'm hard on you. Worry about if I stop talking to you. If I stop talking to you, that means that I don't care at all. That means I
That's right.
stop caring. And there would be days when I would go home like really, really sad, and I would get a text from him maybe an hour later, and he would tell me, "You'll be all right. Keep your head up." You know what I mean? So yeah, he was hard, but he always had that soft spot too.
He saw it in you. He saw it in you, and I've heard this that the people who are just rude to you or tough to you, don't really pamper you a lot, are the ones who really care about you because they want you to do well. I love it. Perfect. So of course, Jay Vidal, it's such a great character, gimmick, whatever you want to call it. It just feels very, very real. Now the question to you is: did Gangrel help you in any way shaping up Jay Vidal, the character, or was it all Nicki Minaj? Who was the person behind
No. No. It's no secret. My first the one of I was watching an interview where Nicki Minaj was talking about Cardi B actually.
it? Yeah.
And Nicki Minaj, she's a very successful female rapper. She's been on top of the game. So when she speaks in third person. And almost like The Rock, right? The Rock would always say,
That's
like,
right.
you come in The Rock's ring. But that's how Nicki Minaj is in her interview. She'll be like, if I was on a song with Nicki Minaj, da da da,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
it's I saw that and I'm like, that's almost a gimmick. But then I started the more I started trying to make that a gimmick, the more I started realizing, well, this is just kind of who I am in real life turned up to 1,000. Realistically, like I like to party, I like to go out to clubs.
That's right.
If I go to the club LGBTQ club scene in South Florida, they know who I am because I've been there for such a long time. And if I go to the LGBTQ club scene here in Vegas, everybody knows who I am. They'll give me, oh, you're the wrestler guy. Oh, that's awesome. You know, so when I first started the gimmick, I started it, which of course, you know, we say gimmick, but to me, it's really just me turned up to
It's
a
real.
thousand.
Yeah.
It's real, yes. And when I started, I actually started it here in Las Vegas, but then the pandemic happened. And when the pandemic happened, I had to move back to Florida for about 6 months because, I just wasn't making any money. The whole world was shut down. So what am I going to do? I go back to Florida. I stay with my dad, who I'm so grateful that he, let me stay with him. Um, and I ended up being able to train with Gangrel again. And when I went back to train with him, he knew about my gimmick. He's been following my career. He even to this day he'll call me at least like once every other week to check up on me and see how I'm doing. I say this, Gangrel is really like a dad to me. I genuinely mean that.
Yeah.
Uh, but he helped me. Gangrel definitely helped me, find ways to make that character more aggressive, so that I could be flamboyant and I could be Jay Vidal. But once I get in the ring, guess what? It's go time. You're not in here with somebody who's just gonna, you know what I mean, be super. I guess the word is be super quote unquote prissy or whatever. Like I will be between when I give you shots, but when I give you those shots, they're coming just as hard as any other straight guy that you share a ring with.
Love it. Love it. So, so basically, Nicki Minaj has somehow contributed to the whole thing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes, 1,000%. I listen to her music almost every day. Like I am a fan of Nicki and Cardi and of female
Wow.
rap in general because there really is no gay mainstream rapper. There wasn't, like, Lil Nas X wasn't around, 5 or 6 years back.
That's
So
right.
all I really had to listen to, and a lot of gay people, what we had to listen to was artists like Nicki Minaj or like Cardi
That's
B
right.
because they're the closest that we could relate to in terms of femininity.
And you've been doing incredible. I mean, talk about PCW Ultra. I feel like PCW Ultra, you've been the face now. I mean, crazy. I mean, the few matches you've had, I believe you've had 3 matches so far. But what have an impact you've made? Your debut itself, you came here, you saw the title, and you conquered it. In your debut itself, you won the Ultra Light title. How was that night for you?
It was surreal. It was surreal because I really wanted to, and somebody else who I really need to thank for getting me on to
Yeah.
PCW, Matt Vandergriff. Believe it or not, he's a very close friend.
That's
He
right.
actually tweeted out a tweet because PCW Ultra said, "Who would you like to see
That's
debut in
right.
PCW Ultra when we come back?" And Matt Vandergriff actually put out a tweet saying, "At DJ Vidal."
So
And
your relationship with PCW Ultra basically started with a tweet. I love it.
yes, and then PCW contacted me and DM'd
Yeah.
me and they said, "Hey, send us some of your stuff." And it's funny, whenever I tell the story, they said, "Send me some of your stuff," and I sent them my stuff, and they said, "Thank you for your submission."
Yeah.
So I thought that them saying "thank you for your submission" was
Over.
basically like, yeah, it was basically like, "Thank you, no, we're not interested." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I'll just keep working harder." But within 2 weeks, they said, "Are you available for this date? This
Yeah.
is the match." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I I went in there confident. Don't get me wrong. I did not think that I would be winning that match, but I guess when you put out a lot of good energy into the universe, it comes right back to you. And yeah, I just went in there with the confidence, went in there prepared, went in there ready, and those other three guys were in a chance.
That's right. And I know that we know that Jay Weidel loves to party. So how was, the partying scene after you won the title? How was the, victory celebration after the title win?
Well, it's funny. I didn't actually get to do the victory that the victory celebration, I think, happened maybe 2 nights after, only because the night after I actually debuted for Impact Wrestling.
Yes.
So it was actually it was just such a great weekend. Because PCW happened one night, and the following night they had the Impact Wrestling tapings, and they had me debut. And not only that, but come out and be able to have a little bit of mic time, which to me was super awesome. And I got to meet some really cool people in the back of Impact who I still keep in touch with to this day, who, do their best to look out for me. So that, I think if you consider that a party, that to me was more of a party than me going out and drinking. But I promise you, after Impact that night, I did go out for drinks. So
Of
it was
course.
like a celebration of the whole weekend.
Yes, absolutely. I love the fact that work is celebration. When you gain success in work and you're climbing up the ladder, that is a true celebration. That is keep grinding, keep winning, and that's how you celebrate. I love it, brother. It's incredible. Now, of course, you've made such an impact, no pun intended, across the wrestling scene, the industry. You've fought some of the greatest wrestlers out there in the industry right now. I was just watching your match against Jack Cartwheel. I mean, Friday the 13th. The way that the fans popped for you, the pop that you got during your entrance in the match, it almost felt like people stopped caring about the cartwheeling and they were all in for Jay Vidal. That's about it. What a pop you got that night. Crazy.
I was so grateful because, believe it or not, that was actually only my second appearance at PCW. So here's how it went down. I actually had my first match at PCW when I won the title. My second match was supposed to be a joint show between Old Fashioned Wrestling and PCW Ultra, and I was supposed to face Kevin Blackwood, who is super talented, like ridiculously talented. And just a great person. I wish him all the best in life. Um, I was supposed to work Kevin Blackwood. Unfortunately, that same morning that I was going to fly out to LA, I found out that I had. So, I had to stay inside. The match got canceled. I was out for like 2 weeks, and so that was actually my first appearance back. And unfortunately, in January we were going to have a show also, but got canceled as well, the
Mhm.
anniversary show. So this show back meant a lot to me because I was able to defend my title at PCW, at the PCW show in, Wilmington, California, where I think my first title defense, should have happened to begin with. And I'm glad that it did happen there. That moment meant a lot to me, and going out and just hearing the crowd, it made me feel like, okay, I belong here. Like, it's not no longer like I'm going to prove myself. It's like, okay, this top spot, this throne, the ultralight, you know what I mean? The ultralight throne, the division,
That's
I
right.
am in charge of that. I
You're
am
in charge.
here and I belong here.
It's true. Absolutely. 100% agree with you. But you were able to successfully defend your title against Jack Cartwheel at Friday the 13th. Do you think you'll be able to do the same against Lucas Riley on July 15th at Way Out West?
Lucas Riley is ridiculously talented. Anytime that I have ever done an interview in the past, I will say that 1,000 times over. He is one of those people, along with me, along with Matt Vandergriff, along with Jack Hartwheel, Kevin, that are making that name in the West Coast for the West Coast. You look at West Coast wrestlers, and Lucas Riley is one of those that pop up. But at the end of the day, you also got to remember he's across the ring from Jay Vidal.
Absolutely.
It's his challenge for my title.
That's
I'm
right.
already on top of the mountain. He's got to try. He's climbing up there. He's got to try and knock me off. So I do give him credit for stepping up. But at the end of the day, baby, same result. It's not called the summer of Jay for nothing. You know what I'm talking about? It's
That's
hot
right.
out here, and like you said before, it ain't the heat. It's Jay Vidal.
Absolutely. I'm very, very excited. I'm pretty sure you're going to win, and I'm 100% sure that you'll get the bigger pop again at West Out West because people just love you. So, that's right. Absolutely. Now, of course, apart from, the championship matches you're going to be having at Way Out West, there are a lot of big things that are going to be happening at the show. One of the things is the Touch of Class segment, which there's a lot of buzz about it because the last pay per view they had the Touch of Class segment, which went down crazy. So, are you looking forward to the Touch of Class? Do you have any idea who could the guests be? What could they have in store for it?
I got no clue who the guest could be.
Okay.
I will say, people Class is amazing at making people hate him. I'm
Yes,
one of those
yes.
people who's a little bit disgusted by him. But but besides that though, hey, if you could talk all that smack on the microphone and you could back it up in the ring, I can't hate on you. And as dirty as he is, because he uses those really dirty tactics, he's talented and he can. I'm not even gonna say he could hang. Like he's up there. He's a top tier performer. So I don't know who it is, but I will definitely be peeking out and watching that segment. I'm really excited for it. I'm
Me
really
too.
excited for Class to be out there because, like I said, even though sometimes whenever he talks, it's like a car, like somebody just screeching right there on a board. Um, I am excited to see who's going to go out there and might, you know what I mean? Maybe kick his ass a little bit. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, Class says all the time that he's going to make wrestling great again. Do you think he will? Yes or no?
I'm sure for his audience, he might, maybe. I don't know.
I love it.
I'm not as focused on Class as I am on Jay Vidal
That's
and
right.
making
I
my fans
love it.
enjoy my style of wrestling. But hey, you know what? If he thinks he's making wrestling great again, at least
Good
he
for him.
thinks he's doing something with his life. Yeah.
That's right. Love it. Now, of course, apart from Class, the touch of Class, apart from the Ultra Light Championship match, we've got a lot of action. We've got Vivo Van, who's going to be there. Lindsay Dorada is going to be there. It's going to be big. We've got Steve Madison, Danica, Savio Vega is going to be there. So will be Killer Cross. Apart from your own match, which other match are you looking forward to the most at Way Out West?
If I'm not mistaken, Danica will be facing
Yes,
Sandra Moon.
that's right.
Who Sandra Moon is she's a personal friend of mine, but also she is somebody who I feel as though her and I are on the same upbringing in wrestling. Like we both met each other when we were down here and we're both currently skyrocketing.
Love it.
So I am really looking forward to a match. So much so that like we had our Impact debuts at around the same time. Like I debuted for Impact 1 month and then the following month they brought me back and she was at that show and like we gave each other a big hug like look at what we're doing over here and not to mention that she was actually in the last month's edition of PW Insider for One to Watch and then I was in this month's edition
That's
for
right.
One to Watch, so it's really cool to
Crazy.
see her. And Danica is ridiculously talented as well. And somebody else who I am a huge fan of and will cheer for her a million times over will be Viva Bam because that girl has been putting into work to better herself every single time. And when I see her in the ring now, I just see and I'll use this term a lot, but I only use it whenever it is to represent somebody who really represents it. She's a top tier performer. She's somebody who I see getting signed very, very soon. Viva Van is above that level of the other girls in the West Coast, in my opinion, along with Sandra Moon. And Danica as well. Like we got the best man, PCW Ultra. I'll just say it, and you know what I mean. I might get some DMs from other girls being upset about it, but I'll just say it. PCW got the best female talent in the West Coast right now, and I dare anybody to challenge that.
They really do. I love it. I love it. And this is another quality. Just I just saw in you is that you see good in other people and you bring out the good in other people. It's incredible, incredible. Now I'm very I'm happy to know about your friendship with Sandra. It's great. And it almost seems like a tag team that should be existing. There should be a tag team between yourself and Sandra. But speaking of tag teams, of course, you are the PCW Ultra Light Champion. But would you like to go after perhaps the PCW Ultra Tag Team Championships two in the future? Maybe hold not one but two, PCW Ultra Gold around your waist?
Hey, you know what? I would definitely be down to, but there's one issue right there, and that's that you got Sheik and Jacob Fatu,
That's
and
right.
Jacob Fatu is a very scary person to cross the ring from. So listen, I will wait and see where the titles go if they stay, which I don't think that they're leaving Fatu's site anytime soon or the Sheik site anytime soon. Um, I personally, I would absolutely love to hold another belt, and I would never turn down a challenge. I mean, Jacob Fatu and I were brought up in the same. We were both trained by Gangrel, so we were brought up in the same, in the same style of hard ass training. But yeah, I would absolutely love to share the ring with Sheik and Fatu. And you know what? I'm I have no current goals of going for the tag team belts. But who knows? One day Jay Vidal might just be holding all the belts in PCW, all right? Because you see this weight I'm putting on. You know what I'm talking about? So it might not be just ultralight championship. It might be heavyweight championship J too.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And of course, War Beast is scary. The longest reigning tag team champions in Southern California wrestling history. I feel like the only person who can perhaps beat them is Jay Weidel, because Jay Weidel is also making history. I'm pretty sure about that. I love it. Love it, Jay. And it's been such a pleasure talking to you. And I am rooting for your match and rooting for you to win. And of course, you will win. But before I let you go, Jay, let's play a little bit of a game here. Let's go over the match card for Way Out West and let's predict the winners. Let's see. The next time we meet, we catch up. We'll talk about if you got most predictions right or not. So let's do that. So first of all, we've got this great match between Danny Limelight and of course Lindsay. So who do you think is winning this one?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I have actually shared the ring with Danny Limelight. He's sneaky. He's sneaky. He's loudmouth and he's sneaky. And let me tell you something. I think that the loudmouth will get the better of him. And I think Lindsay Dorado got this one. Like Lindsay is just ridiculously incredible. Like he is on a whole nother atmosphere, on a whole nother realm. I think Lindsay got this one.
All right, Lindsay for this one. And then we talk about this here. Pretty good. We've got Steve. We've got Alex. Who wins this one?
Steve Madison wins this one, baby. I'm a Steve Madison guy. Steve Madison got this one in the bag.
He's awesome. Would you like to face Steve in PCW Ultra one day?
Oh, without a doubt, I would love to share a ring with him. I absolutely would love to share a ring with him. Yeah, he's a Florida guy, just like myself. So you know what I mean. It's two Florida boys putting on a show. I would definitely be down for
I
that.
would love that match as well. I don't think I have to ask for this one, but still, let us know.
Listen, Danica, this one is actually tricky, believe it or not, only because Danica has been on top of her game too.
Yeah,
But man, I gotta shoot for my baby here. Sandra Moon's got this. Sandra Moon has got this one in the bag.
love it. And then we have War Beast and we have Gorilla. And this is going to be a tough one.
Oh, it's gonna be. Listen, this is gonna be like two. It will be like four bulls just going at it, right? Like you could expect some craziness. You could expect probably the biggest brawl of the night right here. I got to go with
Right.
War Beast. I don't see War Beast losing these titles anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like Jacob Fatu is the best. He is
That's,
literally the best.
that's right. Yeah, I've got to go with War Beast as well. Then we have this match, and this is pretty big. We've got Rachel, we've got Weevil Van, another tough one. I mean, I can't believe it's like WrestleMania or like PCW Ultra. Such a big event, such big matches, huge matches.
Yes. Now Rachel Ellering is actually I met her, believe it or not, a few years, maybe 5 years back, because I was only a little less than a year in, and I was, or no, I actually was 6 years back because I was only like 3 or 4 months in, and I was repping shows for Coastal Championship Wrestling. And when I first started out, the promoter wanted me to rep so that I could get a better understanding of what's going on in the ring, and I'm super grateful for that, by the way. But so Rachel Ellering was actually one of the matches that I repped, and she was amazing back then, and she's only improved. But with that being said, Viva Van is hungry and on top of her game. You know, like it's Viva Van. Viva Van retains. Yes, 1000%.
Wow. Okay. And then we come to this one. This one's gonna be big. We've got Toa.
Oh,
We've got Killer Cross. Tough.
Toa. Listen, a lot of people tell me that me and Toa have the same body, all right? Sometimes I get stopped in the street and they're like, Toa, is that you? I'm like, no, it's Jay Vidal. No, it's because of all the muscles and the, you know?
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
But Toa, wow, Toa's incredible. He is a specimen. But baby, TikTok. His time is ticking. TikTok. Killer Cross got this one.
It's gonna be big. Yeah, I agree. I must say, I agree with all your predictions, including this one. I already know it. Of course, we know. Jay Weidel is winning this one. Isn't that right?
Listen, for this one, I will say again, Lucas Riley, tremendous performer, tremendous athlete, tremendous professional wrestler. And I wish him all the best climbing back up the mountain. But he's gonna get knocked down that mountain by Jay Vidal. But hey, you know what? At least when the time comes, he can go ahead and say that he got to the title picture. He just
Right.
wasn't able to pick up the win. Because there's only one. And his name is Jai Vidal.
Absolutely, Jay. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to you knocking him down the mountain. And I'm already excited about your next feud. Who are you going to be fighting next? Because one thing's for sure, you're not letting go of that beautiful title. It's going to be with you forever.
Oh, it's gonna be with me until I get signed. It's gonna be with me.
Right.
Probably even after I get signed, it'll be with me. I might just retire the ultralight championship, like actual, like basketball players will retire their jerseys.
That's
I
right.
might just retire the ultralight championship because I'll hold on to it forever and ever and ever. And as far as my next few goes, it's for whoever wants to step up. I mean, it's up to you guys to step up to Jay Vidal. I'm already on the throne. I'm already looking down at my kingdom that is PCW Ultra. I'm just waiting on whoever thinks that they're bad enough to try to take the title from me.
Wow. Open challenge right there. I love it. Love it. I've got goosebumps. I can't wait to see what the future holds for PCW Ultra Lightweight Championship and, of course, Jay Weidel. I love it. Looking forward to the championship match. Looking forward to the pay per view, and looking forward to all the greatness that you have still to show us. Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so much for for having me on the show. This is actually probably one of the funnest podcasts I've ever done. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show right now, but I genuinely do mean that. I had so much fun. It was great to talk to you, and on top of that, it is great to let the fans know where they could find Jay Vidal, and
That's
that
right.
right there is PCW Ultra because
That's right.
PCW is represented by JAI.
Love it. That's right. Hell yeah. And also, guys, you can follow Jay Weidel. All the links to Jay Weidel's profiles are down in the caption, so don't miss out. Jay, an honor to have you here. A lot of fun talking to you. I mean, I am so thrilled because right here, what we're looking at in the frame is the future of pro wrestling, and we know it. That's right. Thank you, Jay. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.